Welcome to the memories of the Williams family from 1944 to 2002. In 1944, a 16mm camera took these early movies and at that time could not record sound, hence the voiceover, so that you may be aware of people and places. Narrators Janice and Paul Williams, recorded November 2005.
What you're looking at here is my brother Wayne with the football and my mother. This is me. This is Paul coming on a quarter-sized bike coming into our house at 39A Matai Road, Green Lane. Paul's brother, Wayne. He didn't turn out to be an All Black either. Paul's father. Paul's mother. All three of us. What intrigues me in this shot is watch my father's mouth when he's trying to feed Wayne. Certainly. Paul's 5th birthday, 1944. It was held at the back of the 37A Matai Road house. A tent was put up and these are the people that were invited on a Saturday. The Williams family at that stage. Cake and hats were the order of the day in those times. They took a replay here because I didn't have the hats on properly. Hello, we dropped Wayne's hat. It's a woman from just up the road. This is Auntie Mavis and her 2 children. Norma and Frosty. That's Uncle Murph and Auntie Lexi. The car you can see behind, I think, was an Essex, and that would be about a 1940 or 50. This is May Lincoln, and this is my Auntie Marge, my uncle's, my mother's brother's wife, and this is my mother's brother's wife on the right. On the right, that's. We're now in the tent for the official. Go, we cut the cake, blow out the candles. Bearing in mind all these, this was taken on a, as Janice said, a movie 16mm, which is a pretty old sort of camera compared to what we've got these days. Most of all these people that you're looking at now are in their 60s. Some have touched 70. But all these people here are in their 60s. Most of the parents have all passed on. My mother's brother Bob with the cigarette in the back. Paul's mother and brother again. This fella coming in, this Pat and Cal man, he actually played on the wing. That fella there played on the wing for the Kiwis rugby league team in his day. Bit coy there. Paul and Patricia. Here we are, quite a bit later. We actually shifted from that house up the road to the right and second on the left where we built a house in 1953. We were renting the place here, it was 2 flats put together. That's the billy with the milk in that Paul's father has just brought in. The milkman would come round with a little dipper and put a pint of milk in that little billy, and we would bring it in. They did that every morning at the gate, 5 days a week. We had bikes as very young children, my brother and I. As you can see, we've got pretty good balance even at that age. Probably was good to keep me in good stead for later on. My father was a grocer manager, and he worked for 28 years in a grocer shop called Greenwich Corner, which is now just a dairy. There's some skills for you. And that was his lunch box that he had on there, in his little bag, and he rode to work every day for about 25 years, there and back, which kept him pretty thin and in pretty good healthy order. As you can see, he has plenty of hair, and hence the family, for my brother and I, have still got plenty of hair. It's goodbye for him, off to work. Once you get to the middle of the road, you have to look. Here I am off to school, Paul's off to school. Please note, bare feet. I, summer, winter, never wore shoes at all. We all were barefooted. Lunchbox in back. Here's Wayne going out to get the milk again from the billy, and the milkman has left the early morning. Pretty heavy for a young fella. Paul's mother cleaning the front steps with a scrubbing brush. It was very important in those days to clean your front steps. Here's they're off to town. The hat, of course, is the 1940s. And the coat is a fur coat made from a squirrel or something. My bike had I think my bike had a puncture here. So my father was taking the bike to get the punctures repaired, and he took the bike like this all the way 4 kilometres to be repaired.
This is the 8th of February 1964, wedding day for Janice and Paul. And here are the male members of the wedding party getting ready at Auntie Marge's place in Otahu. Wayne, Glenys and Paul. Glenys married Wayne later that year. At Pukekohe, St James's Church, Janice's father, Stuart Ritchie, and Janice about to get out of the car into the church to marry her beloved. Bridesmaids were Helen Rhodes, now Helen Rennie, and Nan Rennie, who became Nan Wilson.
Wedding ceremony over, coming out of the church.
Minister, Mr. Jim Allen.
A fine looking couple.
Wayne, Helen, Janice, Paul, and about to enter the frame, oh no, Nan and John Wilson.
Paul's mother and father, Wayne, Helen, Nan and John Wilson, Olive and Stuart, Janice's mother and father. The guest numbered 125.
Oh, many more, I think.
This is the car that Paul and Janice owned, a nice red Volkswagen in those days, and we're eating guavas at my Auntie Marge's place, my mother's brother's place. Here's our firstborn, Geoffrey Paul. We'd sold the house in Pakuranga and bought a business of a service station, a mobile service station in Mangere Bridge. And we had to sell the house to buy the business, and we shifted to a flat in Penrose. This is Geoff taking his first steps in walking. Still very unsure on his pins, but he got there. This literally was the first day that he walked very close to it. He was still happy to crawl. Still happy to crawl for a while, but nevertheless he made it. Here he is at Paul's mother and father's, no? Mangere.
East.
East.
Yates's Road.
When we sold the business, we went to buy it. We looked after a house in Mangere East for a cousin of mine's parents while they went overseas for 6 months. As you can see, Geoff's pretty good in his pins now. And Ian was actually born from this house in
1968.
68. So we're looking here now at 1968. This is a christening. There's Geoff, Glenys.
Michael and Wayne. This is Michael's christening.
Wayne's brother, that's my brother Wayne, his wife. Geoff, Paul's father. Michael, brother Wayne's eldest son.
This is Paul's mother and father's place, 29 Wetarangi Road, Green Lane. Geoff enjoyed being there very much. Being the eldest grandchild, he pretty much could do as he pleased, I think.
Hence the first grandchild, quite a bit of tape of his achievements.
A lot more time in those days.
A lot more time in those days. That's a brother, Genesis brothers, Bruce's bike. We changed the car from a red, upgraded to another VW. That's the green VW that we had when we bought the business in Mangere, a mobile service station. There's Paul's dad, Bill. The car was a lovely Morris.
We're now in the Auckland Domain feeding the ducks with Paul's parents, Nana and Papa. And it was a good place to go on a Sunday afternoon, feed the ducks.
Geoff was never actually too fond of birds, even here. The domain today remains exactly as it is today as it was there. It hasn't changed one bit in all these years. Paul's mother and father, Bill and Maribel. We have never heard another person called Maribel in my lifetime. B-E-L-L, M-A-R-A-B-E-L-L. They're close with Mirabels and all these sorts of things, but not Maribel. Geoff was quite partial to statues in the domain here.
It's the goldfish pond there at the Winter Gardens.
In the domain.
That's Fraser, Janice and Paul's third son, on a pony at Pukekohe, where Paul kept his racehorse at that time. Bonnie and Max Hill's property, Geoff riding one of their children's ponies. Maureen and Peter were very generous in their time, letting Geoff and Ian ride their ponies.
This is Ian.
Probably about 3 years of age.
I would think so.
Maybe 4.
Had a couple of horses with this guy, mainly Gold Realm was the one, and Laserbeam. And Gold Realm won about 3 or 4 races for us. Laserbeam couldn't raise a gallop. But this was the property that were there, the barns and things that we had the horses in on Max's property. Max on the left, Janice, Bonnie. One of the little apprentice riders that he had.
And that is how to ride a horse. This boy was quite accomplished as a rider, as was his sister.
We are recording this in November 2005, and that girl there that you're looking at, the daughter, how old would she be now? She'd be
In her 40s.
in her 40s. Now, married a fellow who was a stud farm down in Cambridge. These were Paul's colours that he had for the horses that he had in the gallops. Canary and black checkers. Canary and black, corded caps. The 2 great models. Not much teeth from this fellow when he smiles, I don't think. Yeah, have we? I think we had the 2 front teeth out at the time. Yes, I thought so. Lovely smile, thanks, Jim. Ian is full of admiration. Fraser.
This is 33 Edmund Street in Kauai-Marama, or St Heliers. And this is Fraser at about probably 2.
We've been established at the service station for about 2 or 3 years, managed to put a deposit down on this place. It was a derelict, the house, and we decided whether we would pull it down and build it or add on and try and make do, which we decided to add on and make do. Today, in 2005, there's a house on the back of where we are, where the boys are now getting into the slide. There's a house is built on that. They cut it up and put a house on the back of there.
It was a really good playground or backyard for a playground for children, and it was not unusual to have about 14 of the local children on the backyard either playing cricket or football or whatever as they grew up. It was a really super street for kids to grow up in.
Had these trolleys made, and the numbers on them were the numbers that they had on their athletic shirts that they had on. So we just used their same numbers. Ian and Fraser. That was a great path to learn to ride bikes on because it was so smooth. The house is still there today, with, as I said, with a house behind it. .469 and G for Geoff and 470 for E and I. Had a lot of fun on those.
And Fraser on toddles. My three sons.
Yep. It was a good bike for all the children to learn to ride on. They could put their feet out and touch the ground, didn't fall over until they got their balance correct. And here's Fraser,
This is
Ian. He just learned to ride it, get his balance right. Whoops, yeah, jumped off a bit quick. But it was such a good bike because it was low and they never hurt themselves falling off. They could use it as an outrigger. But the grass area at the back was great for, as Janice said, for all the activities, and all the neighbourhood kids used to congregate at our place because there was the three boys and their mates, so there was about 14 would come round and mainly play at our place. So you can see Ian's still learning to ride it, but it was a good bike to ride, to learn on. Be afraid it'd only be about 2, I think, as Janice said.
He wouldn't be that.
No, I don't think so.
Nappy.
Yeah. Hello, he's
He
thirsty.
knew how to get a drink though.
Yeah. Paul's mum and dad.
Geoff and Ed had just been to athletics, so keen to, they belong to the local athletics club. This is the gear they wore. So they obviously came home and decided to have a bit of a burn up round the track, but Ian was a little bit shrewd here.
But the numbers on the back of their shirt corresponded to the trolleys that we had built for them. Ian didn't like losing. Now here, take the... Cheated a bit there. Hello.
Marine land at Mount Maunganui. Each winter we'd take the children either to Rotorua or Mount Maunganui for a week in the winter school holidays.
And they had the trained seals, the dolphins.
No.
Wasn't it dolphins? Yeah.
This aeroplane belonged to Janice's brother Grant, Richie, who worked for Air New Zealand as an engineer. But as he was had his own licence, and he and his friend John Bushell bought this plane, which was an Oster. So he used to do the marine reports and all sorts of other things over the city of Auckland, so he decided to take us for a bit of a joyride. Fraser was not allowed up there, so he shed a few tears on the ground. He took us over our house, and spots that we could recognise from the air. And I was ever so pleased to get back on the ground. Grant did a lot of flying for work and as a hobby, and unfortunately he passed away January 1991. He had bowel cancer.
How old was he? 43, I
About
think.
42, I think.
42 or 43.
Yeah. Left a wife and 2 children.
This will be one of the birthday parties that Janice would hold for the kids.
I think it must be Ian's 5th, is it?
Backyard stuff. Always a ball or something.
Take a look at the ties. That was a good piece of equipment. Thank you to Nana Ritchie. Yes, it was Ian's 5th birthday. That's Stuart Mills, who was about 12 or 13, and he came along to help. Good lad he was. There's Mary Ann.
Paul's father holds up David, Paul's brother's Wayne's boy. Yeah, they all
I think it
come
was
out.
a Zorro party from memory.
I think it was a
The
Zorro
boys were
party.
Zorro, I don't quite know what the girls were.
Probably princesses.
Obviously they've been fed and watered.
And the games have started. Janice's mother, Olive.
Somebody's lost a wand.
Somebody lost a wand. Olive was the registered nurse at the steel mill for about 15 years. Paul's mother.
This would have been the end of August, but chilly out there, I think.
Who's that? Harnish.
No, where did it? Summer holidays at Manly Beach on the Wongaproa Peninsula. We went up for many years and rented properties right on the beach. The children thoroughly enjoyed it, I hope, because I know I did. And I would stay up there with the boys for the whole 6 weeks of the holidays, and Paul would commute back to work. It was a very safe beach for children.
At this stage, the Mills family had a lovely beach house batch up at Manly, and of course Mary Ann and Ian grew up together in the kindy. So these were great times with the Millses. They were very hospitable people and very kind to our children. So we congregated there for many years, and you'll see as we go on that they did grow up quite considerably over the many years that we did go there. I think that they would have fond memories of Manly in their growing up years. Still bearing in mind that what you're looking at is off a movie 8 camera that I took all these photographs of our kids, and once again there was no voice at that stage of these years. So hence the voiceover that we're doing now. It's a shame that voice wasn't in those days. But as Janice said, it was a very, very safe beach. There was no big waves to knock them over, and they could swim in.
Something's upset him. Get that thumb.
This was we sold the house in Pakuranga, and this was the first service station in Mangere Bridge. The bridge was taken down and a new bridge was built which bypassed the service station. So in 1976, this is, we bought it, and
Bought it when Geoff was 8 months old.
67.
This is one of the houses we rented in Manly and Ladies Mile. And Paul's friend Norm Green and his wife Bobby were staying with us. We always had company on these holidays, and plenty of it. And that's Chris Green, Paul's godchild. That's Auntie Bobby.
That was the barbecue in the old days.
A real barbecue.
Yeah.
Norman Fraser.
Auntie Bobby with the stilts on a each phrase.
Michael's 5th birthday at Muir Avenue in Mangere Bridge. Obviously an Indian party, this one.
This is, of course, Michael, Wayne, Paul's brother's eldest. He had 3 boys. This is his second son at the bat, Paul's mother. This is Andrew at the bat, brother Wayne bowling, moustache and all, and beard. Dennis is
Hiawatha.
Hiawatha or Minnie. No. Paul's trying to give catches to everybody. Bit awkward. No, Wayne, Paul, yeah.
What's the time, Mr. Wolf?
I think you boys would remember that. Dennis's youngest fella, David. Birthday cake, I think. Here we are back at Max Hill's place in Pukekohe. That's my first horse, and it was called Gold Realm, and I think it won 4 races for us in about 5 seconds and 2 or 3 thirds. I think it won about $26,000 if I remember rightly, round about there. That was the other horse that we had called Laser Beam, who, once I said before, he couldn't raise a gallop. But the Gold Realm certainly was a wonderful horse to us. This is Max Hill, trainer at the time. And Laser Beam. One of the very few horses I had that never ever ran in the money. Geoff again. Bonnie, Max's wife, and a very, very accomplished horsewoman. She rode track work. He rode track work. This is Gold Realm at Ellerslie. And there we are, against the rail, finishing third. I think a fella called Gary Alexander rode him here. It was still nice to get third at Ellerslie. They're the famous colours, canary yellow and black checkers. Here we are, Gary Alexander again, who rode us for third at a trial. This is taken at Pyroar. Gold Realm again. Just going round to the start. Here we are on the outside here, running fourth. But we only wanted a quiet trial. At the same time, Max had a horse of his own called Solar Boy, and the two of them were sprinter milers, and Solar Boy was quite an accomplished sprinter as well. But here are the two horses together, Gold Realm, Solar Boy. That's Gold Realm on the left, Gold Realm on the right, and Solar Boy on the left with Bonnie. Here we are at Waipa at Tiamutu. And we finished third. This time we had David Peake on, who was one of the top jockeys of his era. He won a lot of races. He was one of the top jockeys in New Zealand. In fact, he's only retired this year, 2000. We're recording this at 2005. There's another W.D. Skelton, my father, and me, of course, at Waikato, and he was also the leading jockey of his time. In fact, I think his records have only just been broken in the 2000s. This particular day we went out favourite to win the race. That's Wayne Woods, the photographer, also my partner, and another horse coming up shortly. We honestly thought we could win this race with a top weight number one, but unfortunately, unbeknownst to us until we got him home, a shoe came off another horse in front and hit him in the eye, which of course stopped him from running on, coming home down the straight. It didn't come out till the next day, and Bill Skelton never knew what had happened. (1973). And here we are, I think last, or second to last. Second to last. Here we are back at Ellerslie again. Bearing in mind this is a Super 8 camera that I'm taking this film on, and the zoom, of course, is nowhere near the zooms that they have today. Finishing sixth. This is Laser Beam, which, as I said, wasn't worth feeding, but we bought him as a yearling. Bonnie breaking him in on the lunge, getting to break the horse in, ready to run. As you can see, this is summertime and there's not much green grass around. But they were very, very good horse people, these two people. As you can see, she's no fool with a horse, this woman. The horse has to do as it's told, when it's told. And they call this lunging. Putting weight on its back, so it's got to get used to a jockey riding it. So this was the first time anything that's ever of a human being has put weight on its back. They are very careful at this stage to be either bucked off. This was laser beam at Mangatangi. We found out he wasn't that good, so we thought we would put him over jumps. I certainly spent a bit of time with this horse that never turned out any good at all. But he had all the stamina to go over fences. He still didn't make it. A lot of time and effort put into this horse for nothing. At this fella's place, he has some little ponies. That Geoff and Ian were pretty chuffed about. We seem to be looking at a lot of Geoff on animals, especially horses and things, running around the place. Of course, Geoff now